What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Today I wanted to give you a quick video on everything that I brought with me the other weekend when I went out to Panthera training with the guys from Keystone Dynamics Solutions for their little get-together / live fire CQB day. You guys have probably seen a lot of the clips on my Instagram as well as the short that I posted on YouTube here from that day into the night of us running through the live fire shoot house. Guys, I don't want to get into the antics of CQB here. I want to just keep it kind of casual on what I bring with me. You guys can do whatever you want, how you want. I'm not going to get into that. There are a million ways to skin a cat, but I will show you what I bring with me when I go to hypothetically skin cats. So we'll start out with the new main squeeze being my 11.5 URGI. Nothing really new here other than the Wilcox Raid XE, which I will make a video on very soon. I just need to get a little bit more testing done on it, as well as get a recording device for the new set of night vision that I got. We'll talk about a little bit later, so you guys can actually see this guy in action, because I don't want to like try and hold my phone and use it just doesn't work. So I'm going to get a recorder so you guys can actually see high quality footage of this guy in action. Surefire RC2 finally got it out of jail. So I've been shooting the crap out of that. Pretty good can. Again, don't want to get in the weeds on stuff. It's the most mid can ever. That's why I bought it. On the back here, Overbore System Salt. This isn't out yet. It should be coming soon. I'm using it in the complete wrong way. And if he sees this video, he's probably going to mention that I'm an idiot for putting it on backwards, but it works really well for me with a magnifier. So the intended purpose of this is a standalone laser thermal mount, SALT for short. Run it out front, put your Raid on it, put your pack on it, your D-ball, whatever, or your thermal. But for me, since I don't really want or have a need to move the laser back or add a thermal, I flipped around backwards and use my EOTech flip to side with this, and it works perfect for what I need. So that is the 11.5 kind of main squeeze, what I ran through the shoot house, and it worked phenomenal. We'll talk about the new helmet next here. So guys, this is a OpsCore Fast SF Ballistic Helmet. I would always recommend if you're doing any sort of live fire CQB or live fire range events where multiple people are going to be in close proximity, shooting, to wear some sort of ballistic helmet protection, especially if you don't know the people. Just my take on things, but running through the shoot house with this ballistic helmet made me feel a little bit safer around some people that I didn't necessarily know all too well, but ended up being all okay and nobody got shot. So I don't want to go too far into this and spoil the surprise of how I have it set up as I just turn around and show you what spoiled the surprise. Anyway, expect a video on this guy coming soon. Not really much to talk over on that other than it's a really good helmet and it's very expensive. Is it necessarily worth the $2,000 it costs almost? I don't know, but it is nice. Upgrades, people, upgrades. PVS 31s, I picked these up at the beginning of the year. I know last year I said all the time, I'm gonna get 31s, I'm gonna get 31s. Well, I got 31s and they're awesome. I don't want to sit here and brag about them, but they are probably the nicest goggle system on the market, other than quads. For most people, I think a set of 31s is better than quads. Again, don't want to get into the weeds on that. There are tons of good devices on the market. It's just I had my eyes set on these because I am a smooth brain chimp and I liked PVS 15s and I kind of miss them. All jokes aside, really good unit. Shout out to the guys at sendnods.com for hooking it up with those guys. All right, so we'll jump to the belt and then I'll talk about plate carrier and talk about the clothing that I wore last. So Safariland holster hasn't changed. This one is for my Staccato XC. I've been using that a lot recently. The only drawback I have with the Staccato platform is it is incredibly heavy, and wearing it for very long periods of time kind of sucks compared to something like a Glock 17 that weighs virtually nothing. Relatively speaking, if you were to load up a Glock 17 with a full-size mag with like a plus 5 extension and then 2 more on the belt and then weigh that out versus a Staccato with 3 mags, It's a fraction of the weight. So I might be switching back to the Glock, but I have been using the Staccato as of recent. One change I made to my True North Concepts modular holster adapter was courtesy of a guy on Facebook. I'm not going to take credit for it. He found that if you ream out the holes on it, you can actually attach a tech lock to it so you can remove it from your belt very, very quickly. Now, some people might argue like, oh, it's not secure, like, oh, it's... I had more problems with the True North Concepts like factory mounting hardware than I do with this. So I'm gonna keep using this. And the reason I like this is because if you're running smaller Pelicans that take stuff around and being able to detach this and effectively cut the height of your belt in half to put it in a case, I'm all for it. Being able to detach this, and put that in a case versus some big monstrosity that's, you know, 8 inches tall, trying to jam this down in here. And with most belts being Tegris nowadays, having no real give to them, I think that's a genius idea. So huge shout out to the guy in the Facebook group for coming up with that. New belt, Faro Concepts Bison belt. I've tried to slim this down as much as possible from my tier belt because, again, Staccato heavy, belt was heavy. No more IFAC on the rear here. We'll talk about that when we get to the plate carrier. All right, so jumping into the plate carrier, this is literally the exact same setup I had on my Coyote FCPC that I had 2 years ago, 3 years ago maybe. Same cummerbund, front setup, and back panel setup, just in multicam now. So no longer a Coyote Mongoloid. We are back on the multicam way. The only change that I made to the FCPC from what I was running before in the older videos is I added Faro's 5.56 mag pouches, the wing thing ones that Velcro on the rear sides here, so that I can keep 5 mags on my person plus 1 on the belt plus 1 in the gun. So that gets me to a total of 7, which I think is enough if you ask the Facebook groups. I don't know. Other than that, the only other thing that I did change was I added a knockoff med roll thing here at the bottom to free up the belt, because I find myself shooting more and more with the plate carrier on and not just a battle belt. So if I need med, I have med here, as well as in the top pocket of the back panel, which is going to be switching probably to the Faro 3-banger panel with the GP, where I'll move probably medical into the bottom, leave this on the carrier, and then obviously put the flashbangs in the top. But other than that, this plate carrier is the exact same as my Coyote one, with the addition of just a few small tiddly bits. And lastly, I want to talk about some of the clothing that I wore for the day, because I feel like that's often brushed over unless you're Spirit Systems YouTube channel and they talk about clothing literally all the freaking time. I was wearing the Cry Precision G2 Army Custom combat pants for the first half of the day on the flat range portion. It was very, very hot, so these were kind of a death trap, but it was definitely doable. When I had to change about halfway through the day, I changed to these guys, being the Prism pants from prism.us. So these pants are made out of a very light, stretchy fabric, similar to what you'd find on like the back of the plate bag on like the Cry JPCs, where it has the little stretch panels, or like the Cry knee pad areas, or the rear butt pad area. It's just a lot lighter than what's on those pants. So these pants are very, very breathable, but they are very, very fragile. So that's why I saved these for when we got into the shoot house and it was like 150 degrees in there, humid, no airflow. So these inside the shoot house were awesome. They were kind of a lifesaver. My only complaint with these pants, if you guys are gonna buy them, they fit true to size for the most part on the waist, and the length is perfect in my use case here, with these being a 30 pant. I don't know what the inseam is or what the length is, if it's a 30, 32, 30, 34. It just says 30, so the waist fits good, the length is good. The inseam is like for a toddler, so the inseam, when you put these on, or at least in my case being 6'1", these are ball huggers, especially when you put on a battle belt and your leg straps. these get tight. So just keep that in mind. But for super hot environments, these are my go-to. I really like them. The only other thing that I had with me for the day was the Crye Precision G3 combat top with the sleeves rolled. And this was also hot as balls, but it wasn't too bad. I would probably switch to a Velocity Systems rugby shirt in the near future. I'm looking at buying a couple of those just for the hot shoot house stuff. Outside, this was kind of actually really nice, especially if you're working in like a wooded environment, just because it is a little bit more durable on the sleeve portion. Same with the combat pants. So it all comes down to what you need and how you're going to use it. So that's just basically what I brought with me to the little range day. I just want to make a quick video, but I had a blast, guys. I will leave links below to the guys over at Keystone Dynamics Solutions. They have a killer range day coming up here in September at the same exact facility that we used. I'll leave clips in here and there. But I'll leave their links below. Huge shout out to them for letting me come out and train with them. Really good guys, really smart, knowledgeable guys. If you have any questions or comments on what I brought with me, or you want to see more of one thing, let me know. I'd be happy to do it. I want to make some new videos now that I have new stuff, new exciting stuff to show you guys. Raid X video should be coming soon, as well as Ops Core and PVS 31 videos should be coming soon. Once I get a recorder and you guys can actually see through the tubes, we will try and make, or I will try and make some pretty cool content with these guys. But with all that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying to the end. I really appreciate the support. Again, questions, comments, leave them down below. Hit me on Instagram. With all that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.